In the early 2000s, a new resurgence of reboots of legendary 80s cartoons had begun. The likes of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe 2002, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, and in 2011, this show. These shows were far more edgier than before. There was actual stakes, violence, darker colors, smooth action, and a more cinematic scope than ever before.
That's our cue. Unlord.
Take the sword and become one with it.
A rival.
You may be king, but I'm still older than you.
A cleric.
Try and catch me!
A soldier.
Hold on! It's about to get bumpy.
The twins.
Yeah!
And of course, together they are Thundera's last hope against the immortal Mumra and his lizard army.
You cannot comprehend the forces you are dealing with.
Just say the word, Lion-O.
The all-new Thundercats are back on Toonami and better than ever.
Thundercats!
Every Saturday night at 2:30.
Give me sight beyond sight.
Only on Adult Swim.
I had never even heard of Thundercats 2011 until I saw promos of the show on Cartoon Network, but I was still not impressed with the idea of watching a show about cat people. That all changed the day I watched the first episode. Not only was I hooked, I was actively anticipating each episode afterward. The show takes place on a planet called Third Earth. A society of anthropomorphic animal-based species rules a different section of each part of the planet, with the Thundercats' Empire of Thundera being the most rich and blessed kingdom of all of them, gaining the jealousy and resentment of multiple other species, especially the lizards. A young prince named Lion-O is obsessed with learning about Third Earth's past and is trying to uncover the lost secrets of technology. His father, King Claudius, who is played by the original 80s voice actor of Lion-O, is worried he will not learn responsibility and become a worthy king. During a celebration, a race of lizard men that hate the cats sneak into the kingdom and completely shut down all of its defenses, allowing their newfound technology to win the battle using tanks and other high-tech weapons. It is then revealed that the lizards have freed the infamous villain of Third Earth, a conqueror named Mumra, whose supernatural abilities puts the final nail in the cat's coffin. With the death of his father and the destruction of his kingdom by Mumra's hands, Lion-O and his loyal group of friends set out on an epic journey to collect a group of magical stones that can give them the power to free Third Earth from Mumra's oppression. Along the journey, Lion-O realizes the world was not as perfect as it seemed. As he interacts with each species and learns from them, he decides that it is time to improve matters and create a better world where all the different species can be united. The overall plot of the entire series involves finding the Power Stones before Mumra does, so that they can defeat him. However, there are several filler episodes that are episodic on their own, or 3-episode arcs being used for characterization or even introducing the heroes to all different kinds of species on Third Earth. Some episodes even dedicate flashbacks to provide motivation for character decisions, and even expand the lore of Third Earth, such as showing Lion-O's ancestors defeating Mumra the first time. Only 26 episodes were made out of the 65 that were planned, due to a heartbreaking and unexpected cancellation that leaves the core plot still unresolved and my heart broken. While it was a short-lived series, it did enough with the story that to this day I still rewatch it. Overall, the show is amazing, but one episode in particular has so much gravitas that it is truly thought-provoking enough to ask the question as to why life is worth living.
You have been given the gift of life. It is a fragile gift, and not one that you can keep forever. But it is the most precious gift in all the world. Use it well, little one.
This episode really focuses on Lion-O, who still feels very guilty over the death of his father and the destruction of his kingdom. Burdened with the responsibility of restoring Thundera and defeating Mumra, he becomes quite brash in his decision-making, and is only made less vengeful by his friends' help, who show him that kindness is not a bad trait in a king. Lion-O goes through a lot of characterization in this series, and endures a lot of test of character moments that make him a better leader. He is wonderfully played by Will Friedle, who just brings the right energy to his character.
Meow.
Despite me going on a complete summary of the show, I'm not here to talk about the entire show. What I want to talk about is the episode titled The Song of the Petlars. This episode starts with the Thundercats on the run from the Lizard Army. To escape capture, they travel through a thick forest. They eventually meet a peace-loving, plant-like people called the Petlars. They express a philosophy of what can only be described as Epicureanism, which is an ancient philosophical belief that happiness comes from simplicity, friendship, and community. It is an approach to life that stresses finding happiness through living simply. The Petlars have a short lifespan of a day, and new Petlars are born from the seeds of the dead, creating an infinite cycle. But in the eyes of the ignorant plant people, they only see one day as a full life.
As the ancient Thunderian philosopher said, time is relative. This child was just a baby hours ago. The Petlar's entire existence seems to pass in the course of a single day. But from their perspective,
it's a lifetime.
When the topic of the meaning of life comes up, people tend to pose one of three questions. What are you talking about? What is the meaning of life? And is life in fact meaningful? Most analytic philosophers writing on meaning in life have been trying to develop and evaluate many theories, fundamental and general principles that are meant to capture all the particular ways that a life could obtain meaning. In the Petlars' case, we see that they do enjoy their minimalistic lives in the forest, but do desire a life outside of it and journey every day to find their way out. Lion-O and the Thundercats do not understand this simple way of life or this way of thinking. Lion-O meets a young boy that desires a life of adventure and is inspired by Lion-O's heroics. As the day goes by, Lion-O witnesses this young boy grow so fast, really hammering in the fact how fast life can seem.
In the blink of an eye.
I want to be a hero. Can you give me sword lessons?
Well, first, you can't just wave a weapon around like that.
Lion-O learns from this boy and the Petlars that despite life zooming past you, there is a lot of meaningful moments that you can have with your friends and family based on what you do with it. But also, there is a chance for you to look deeper inside yourself and truly appreciate life as it is. It is this lesson that Lion-O carries with him throughout the rest of the series, showing how he treats other species as equals, resolving his guilt over his father's death, and valuing his team members' lives despite the hazardous goal of trying to defeat Mum-Ra and save the world, as well as make it a better place for everyone living in it. I would say that the most influential account on meaning of life has been the view that one's existence is significant if and only if one fulfills a purpose God has assigned. The familiar idea is that God has a plan for the universe and for all of us, and that one's life is meaningful just to the degree that God helps one realize this plan, perhaps in a particular way that God wants one to do so. Does this mean life can't be still meaningful without God? That is a good question, but all I know is that life is so much more meaningful when I include God in my everyday experiences. As a Christian, my purpose in life is to live for Jesus Christ and express Him in everything I do, with varying degrees of success, but that is what gives my life meaning.
What's the point of it all? Kingdoms rise and fall, lifetimes come and go. Are any of us here long enough to even make a difference?
You sound like an old man talking like that.
Emmerich?
With so many great adventures ahead of us, we still have a chance to make our marks.
Yes, my friend. Many adventures, I hope.
Many major historical figures in philosophy have attempted to provide an answer to the great question of what, if anything, makes life meaningful. Whether that's through God or other means, the goal has always been to gain a new appreciation for life. I am no better. I am not a student of philosophy, nor am I all that wise. I simply have a longing to understand and treasure life. I will not pretend that I have all the answers just because I believe in Jesus. I am just like every other person on this earth. I just want to know about why we are here and for what purpose. These are all big questions that a simple little cartoon made me think about, and I am grateful for that. It is concepts like these that make me love this series so much, but that does not mean it's without flaw. It doesn't have that epic opening song from the 80s, and sadly this series never reached its fullest potential, suffering the fate of any great show that couldn't make the toy sales. I just adore the Japanese animation and style this show has. For a time, I literally thought this was an anime. This succeeded in pushing the style of anime in the show with a variety of visual elements, such as scene compositions, effects and colors, as well as the action scenes.
Thunder! Thundercats!
The animation used for the action is quite impressive, being quite fluid and dynamic, allowing the realistic character designs to really work well with the landscapes. Yes, the anthropomorphic people in this world can be jarring, but despite the jokes or, weird fan art, this show is just not for the furries. This is an epic tale that, even though never got a proper ending, still feels like a cinematic story. Story-wise, the series attempts to take a much darker and more cinematic approach than the original show ever did, featuring a lot more focus on characterization and more sophisticated themes. The show is very character-driven, which was needed with such a basic plot. The world of Thundera is so well explored and creative that every episode you might find yourself more curious in the location than the actual main plot. For instance, I wish we could have learned more about the ancient forest the characters became lost in this episode, and especially know more about the Petlars' culture and their history that led them to this forest, not to mention what they will do to survive in the real world again. I will not deny the entertainment value of the original 80s series, but to me, that show is just a little too cheesy, at least the episodes that I have seen, and this version is just so much more impactful and appealing to me with its darker and edgier themes. But I am grateful to the original series for making this show even possible. Perhaps someday we will see a worthy finale to this epic journey. Lastly, this show really can pull at your heartstrings, as well with its powerful messages, even the theological themes. This episode really feels like a gut punch once it is over, with perhaps a newfound desire to fully appreciate your life, no matter what environment we find ourselves in. Because if the Petlars could enjoy their entire life in a day, we should be able to enjoy our lives within the years we have. I will leave you to ponder this, my friends. That life is worth living no matter how much time you have. Now go live your life in the best way that you can.
This, I'm afraid, is the end of my journey. It's all right, old friend.
The blink of an eye.
In the end, what matters isn't how long we've lived, but how fully we've lived. The good we've done, the friends we've made, the love we shared along the way.
I'm sorry I didn't get you to the garden.
It's the journey, Lionel. Remember that.
We're all leaves passing in the wind. Here and then gone. But while we're here, we live to the fullest. Thunder!
May Lord Jesus be with you, and may you have many spiritual blessings in this new year.
Your adventures are over.
Oh no. To live will be an awfully big adventure.